Digimon is a franchise I have always known about but never engaged with, which feels antithetical to me, the pinnacle blue-blooded American who loves an underdog, an enjoyer of stuff that only 3 people have ever heard of, and of video games in general. Digimon World released in 1999 on the PlayStation, only a year before the PlayStation 2 would release. The next couple of Digimon World games would also release on the PlayStation, despite the PlayStation 2 being out and about in the wild, being the next biggest thing since the sun decided to explode itself all over a bunch of rocks just faffing about in dark matter. Digimon and Pokemon are often placed together in competition or as analogs because of their creature collection aspect, and because gamers on average don't have much more cognitive ability than the average water hose and don't deserve rights. But after playing Digimon World myself, I would more liken the Digimon World game to Monster Rancher, which released in 1997. You are in charge of a monster, and you put them through different training sessions to increase certain stats, so you can manipulate their growth to progress further into the game. The more you play the game, you find more and more efficient ways of leveling up your little guy, like with gyms other than the starting green gym. Additionally, each monster has multiple different evolutionary paths, and the requirements for going from Babymon to Winchester's own pussy pounder of Earth are equally numerically complex, which differs from the strict, simple, straight line of one monster to the next Pokemon. Depending on which stat you raise, how well you've raised them, and even how many times a Digimon has died can all be determinants into what they can digivolve into. It's a great deal more involved than put EXP into the creature changer machine. The gameplay loop sort of reminded me of a roguelike with the random starts. It's not actually random whenever you know what you're doing, but keep in mind, I did not have knowledge of any kind, and I flunked out of clown college. And the progression system enabling faster starts, so that even though you start from 0 a demoralizing amount of times, you can still get back to doing the harder zones and progress through the story of the game. But then you learn that's not actually the point and purpose of the game, and you've simply been thinking that because you're addicted to the most perfect genre of games, the roguelike. And your monkey-based lizard brain meat suit wants incredible violence. But the real gameplay loop is you spending several hours at the training centers trying to not have your monster die from hunger or ringworms so that it doesn't digivolve into this. Digimon, what did I do to deserve you? And then you take your slightly beefed up monster off on a grand whirlwind adventure where you swerve everything like you're Tony Hawk in a 10-way intersection to avoid fighting so you can find the ones that actually matter. And then the ones that actually matter are usually dudes that you need to beat over the head with a sizable stick and tell them about the joys and wonders of capitalism. Because as you hit them with your democratic Western civilization propaganda machine, your city gets larger. Now, the old man that espouses traditional family values like big business and the economy tells you you're doing a good job about it. Sometimes you don't really need to indoctrinate them with wanton violence. There's a concerning amount that you do need to hit with enough friendship power to get them to understand the errors of their primitive and backwards ways. Like employing child labor to get into Angry Fire Guy's crib that allows the citizens access to a restaurant, or following the rules of a Japanese gambling game to gain access to healthcare. Wait, hold on. Is that God? First and most important thing to beat up being this little green leafy Satan creature that lets small children know the horrors of the world of RPG poison. Incredible first boss. Make sure you get your free shit from the old guy first to make the process a little bit more bearable. While you're at it, go ahead and talk to everyone else when you can. Digimon World is from a time when talking to NPCs was helpful and told you things, like where to go next, and stuff that you might find in an instruction manual. Truly an art that was lost around 2007 or whatever it was that game started being really easy, and RPGs stopped knowing how to write side quests. Because everyone who was involved with RPGs really loved World of Warcraft, home of the Green Hills of Stranglethorn, leading to Witcher 3 having this unique revelation of what if the side quests were actually interesting, and getting Game of the Year. The world that you explore trying to convert to the wonderful life of post-ironic dystopic unfettered capitalism, where you can trick the little baby monsters into subscribing to having organs or whatever, is a curious little delight. It's fun to see the many different biomes implementing technology into its landscapes, like the floppy disks and what have you on the sides of the roads. It has just enough whimsy to remind me that I like video games. I need to be reminded of that an uncomfortable amount of times. I'm personally a very big fan of the katakana signs and of Poop Mountain. This is all to boil down to say this is a children's game, non-derogatory. Children have some fine games, as they should. So good, in fact, that there are several games meant for children that adults have waded into and shoved all the children overboard because it's their turn forever, I guess. So what I mean by children's game should be more accurately put as the unemployed person's game, which kind of sounds worse, but I can't tell you how not finished this game is going to be for me. A person who gets up at 3 in the morning to stream because he's too employed to regularly find time any other time in his life to play video games without being more tired than the average sleeping beauty. In order to save and stop playing without losing progress, you have to wait for your Digimon to be tired and go to sleep, which happens at seemingly random times, or at inconvenient times at least. If you don't know the tricks for landing perfect results in the skills machine, then you could easily spend your whole 3 hours of free time after work on just increasing their little guy's stats to go around and be stressed about making sure they don't perish from too much breathing or something. So much like fighting game tournaments, only the unemployed can really truly take their time to figure out this game enough to beat it. Which is a shame, because I kind of really like throwing my Devilmon into a pile of poop, because my monsters shouldn't be up walking and standing around like real people. What is this? Hide in trash? Oh. I know that I've said multiple times that I hate you, my little devil boy, but I didn't know that I would make you hide in a literal pile of poop. How much poop is there in this video game? But that's not going to stop me from looking at the next Digimon World game and enjoying it. Probably.